It's a huge honor and privilege to have one of the finest directors that we have right now, Neeraj Pandey. His film A Wednesday completes 9 years on September 5th, and his company Friday Film Works completes 10 years. A pleasure having you back on BollywoodHungama, first of all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that.
A very important film, and you guys are completing 9 years tomorrow. What are your first thoughts?
It looks like a desire and an impossible journey so far. Considering the fact that me and Sheetal, we had a television company. I come from Howrah in Bengal.
Yes.
And
you also live in Ara, I believe.
No, I was born, brought up in Howrah.
Okay.
My roots are in Bihar.
Okay.
So it's amazing. I mean, just that we managed to do all these films and covered this distance.
And I still remember we saw the press show of A Wednesday at a famous studio earlier. All the press previews, they used to happen over there, and we were absolutely stunned because the way the narrative was, it was so powerful. And what I personally felt when I look back at it now is that you must have walked a very tightrope, because it's neither like a right, now you're tilting to the left side, you are in the center somewhere. Which is, I think, the best part, because you have balanced it superbly. Because there are moments when you're watching the film where you feel that maybe it may be taking certain point of view, and then you realize no, it is taking some other point of view, and then at the end of it you realize it is taking the humanist and logical point of view. How do you look back at Wednesday now, sir?
Yeah, that was a very conscious attempt, that not to be biased towards anything,
correct,
any particular group, section, religion.
Right.
It was supposed to be a story of just a common man,
correct,
anonymous, and you shouldn't be looking at anything beyond the fact that he is a common man.
Absolutely.
And that was the one point agenda. That's the only thing that I took special care of, that the story would not be biased or tilted in any favor.
Right. And in fact, there is a line that Anupam Kher, in fact, while I was coming for here, Anupam Kher sir called me up, and I've requested him कि sir मैं at least phone पे तो आपके साथ में इस film के लिए ज़रूर बात करना चाहूँगा.
बिल्कुल.
That the line is that mazhab में, मैंने उसका नाम पूछा, लेकिन mazhab में लोग
नाम में मज़हब ढूंढते हैं,
नाम में मज़हब तलाश कर लेते हैं, which I think is a very powerful line, and so apt by the end of it, the way it is coming, because you have that Jimmy Shergill character, and you I think want to provoke amongst people that maybe he's taking like he's playing a Muslim character, and you're taking a certain point of view towards him, that in terms of distrust or whatever. But by the end of it, there is a different point of view to altogether. How important was it for you to just provoke people, at the same time take an angle?
Provoke people to think more than anything else. Provoke people to think, not go out and do something similar or anything of that sort.
Right.
The idea was that the film was actually made of a lot of question marks, questions to the admin, to the government, to security agencies, to people, to fellow people as well, and that's exactly what we were aiming at with this particular film. It was not supposed to be anything more than that or any different from that.
Right.
And thankfully, with the kind of people that we managed to cast together. And I still remember it was one of the best crews that I've worked with.
Must have.
We completed the film in 26 days.
Yeah. Yeah,
26 days. Yeah. So it was just because it was possible, because we were on the same page, all of us, and each one of us felt at that point of time that we were on to something that was special.
So this was your first film, and you've definitely worked very hard on it, and but did you have apprehensions, considering Mumbai Meri Jaan, which had a somewhat similar in terms of that you had 26/11 and the 11/7, the train blast, I think in the back of your story, and Mumbai Meri Jaan was based on that as well. Did you have apprehensions? And both the films were backed by the same production house.
Yeah.
And
till date it baffles me, because
gap of 1 month.
The film was ready in 2007,
right.
Wednesday, but UTV released it in 2008. It was ready in
October.
August 2007, and it was released on the 5th of September 2008. Right. So it baffles me as to what was this strategy of releasing both these films in a gap of 1 month. But we were new, and we didn't have too much of a say in the release date. In fact, by the end of it, we were just happy कि picture release हो रही है.
Absolutely.
Because the waiting period was far too long. It was testing everyone's patience, and more than anything else, we were worried the story might get stale. You know, the production values, etc., etc. A film in a can is not a good thing.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
it adds to the interest and a lot of other things.
But thankfully, it all worked out.
Thankfully, it all worked out, and it was I think received very well as far as both the critics as well as the commercially. It was a very successful film. I think you mentioned somewhere as well that in a way today people say that concept-based films they are working, but in a way we started the entire trend.
No, we didn't start the trend or anything, but we've always believed in that. That the content is the key. We've always believed in that. We figured that our strength, our core strength lies in storytelling, not in putting up these proposals or anything of that sort. The company is based on that fundamental belief that the priority should go to the content. It's as simple as that. So as long as we have a good story, people might be interested in listening to it, and that's what we should start with.
Right, and the performances of both Anupam Kher and Naseeruddin Shah were appreciated. Naseeruddin Shah, I think, was the toast of the town. That मैं क्या पंखा बेच रहा हूँ. That dialogue was like a right actually. You know, that dialogue was like मैं आपको पंखा बेच रहा हूँ. That you know, especially that he's not your conventional like a good-looking young hero or anything of that. So he's playing a common man. And he's playing his age, and still those dialogues were so powerful. Same with Anupam Kher. He had I think some great lines. Jimmy Shergill was appreciated very well. No, and there were many characters.
Yeah, I believe that these guys got into the skin of their characters, right? We had readings before we went on the floors of this, and Nasir bhai, I could feel that he was nailing it every time he was reading the script with me. Same goes for Kher Saab or Jimmy, the entire gang basically. They were all so ready and itching to go on floors that I remember that there was not too much, consider the fact that it was shot in 26 days and there were lengthy dialogues and all of that, and they were just extremely prepared, all of them.
Okay, so one more thing which I personally noticed as far as your the style of your direction in your filming was concerned, especially for that particular film, was that you made it very different from compared to the films that are generally made in Mumbai. You had all the trappings of the chawl and everything else, the interiors and the lanes and everything. But at the same time, it was very slickly built. ऐसा लगता नहीं है कि आप मुंबई को आप portray कर रहे हैं. You're portraying it in a very maybe the camera angles, the way they were, maybe the way you edited the film was something which was very fast-paced as well. Was it a conscious decision as well?
Yeah, I mean, we came from television and the story needed to be told in a certain manner. And like I mentioned, I had this fantastic crew with me. Fuad was the DOP, Shri was the editor who just directed Toilet Ek Prem Katha now.
Right.
So the production design, the costumes, everything, it was just like, you know, the right people collaborated on that particular film and everybody sort of contributed hugely to it.
Okay. And now, how do you look back at that particular film of Wednesday? Because, you know, many a times what happens, say what happened after 26/11 for the matter, that people, they had this outrage that politicians of various political parties, politicians across the border, or maybe politicians who are considered to be world powers, they keep on squabbling amongst themselves. But the fact is that the common man continues to suffer. It is the plight of a common man is that they can be decimated. Like I've traveled in local trains at that point of time, and I was at that point of time, even today, I have this feeling that I don't know kab kya ho jayega, kuch pata nahi. Do you feel that common man's plight, it is still the same, that they still don't, the value for human life maybe is still the same?
It's in this part of the world, yes. I mean, we've got very little value for it, that goes without saying. We are definitely getting there in terms of acknowledging the fact that this problem exists, and that's a big step in the first place. That at least people are getting aware of that fact and acknowledging that ki haan, ye hai problem. Once you start acknowledging it, you start talking about it, you start doing something about it. That's the way it goes. So at least the first steps have been taken. People started talking about it.
Right.